Okay, let me show you a couple of these licks that I want us to learn. And I want us, before this session is over, in the next 20 minutes, I want us to be able to play these licks without the tab. And then we're going to play some songs together, and I want us to substitute these licks in for where we would do our normal lick. So, this lick sounds like this. Okay? Now, I use this lick all the time, but one of the main places that it goes good is in substitute of this lick. You know that lick, right? That's the lick, right? That's the lick that when Earl played it on the banjo and Lester at the same time did a G run, those two licks married together, and that created the bluegrass sound. They're made for one another. And we play this. When do we play it? This is a good question. When do we play this lick? When? Say again, Michael.
Sometimes at the end, or
yeah,
at the end of a measure.
Yeah, it's a bow usually on the end of a phrase or a verse, chorus. Yeah, good. Does everybody know that lick? I assume you do. So this lick is going to take the same amount of time as that one. So I love how it gives us some variation. So if I'm doing Blue Ridge Cabin Home, so it's just a little falling, great little melodic lick that will give you more variation there. So let's take a moment, just work on it on your own to get it down. Again, you're fingering. It depends on where I'm at and how fast I'm going. I guess the easiest thing to do would play the 5th frets with your index and the 7th fret with your ring. Sometimes I find myself, if I'm going really fast, I might just jump up and play with my middle and my pinky. So it's good to know it both ways. But most of the time, you're going to play index and ring. If anybody has any questions about it as you're working it out, let me know. I'll help you. So, remember, this is a quarter note, so it gets a full beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So let's try this. We're going to play it all at the same time. We're going to loop it over and over again. I'm going to play it, and you try to play it along with me. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, now we're not going to put the space in between them. We're just going to keep it looping. 1, 2, ready, go. Little hint technique-wise, when you first get into playing melodics like this, which most of you are just dipping your toe in it, your tendency is going to be to just kind of press that fret and come off of it. Secret to the sound of melodic is to leave your finger down until you can't leave it down anymore. So let me just demonstrate the sound difference. Here's me just pushing my finger down and bringing it up. Versus, hear the difference? So I'm holding that fret down until I must move again, which usually means until the next note is played. It takes a little time. I encourage you to use your index finger on those 5th frets, and you can reach that 7th fret with your ring. Okay? So let's try it again. I want you to try to be legato, is the Italian phrase for it. Good. Good. Great. That's a fun lick, huh? So it would even work in something like Frog Mountain Breakdown. It's just another way to make the same statement that has a lot of fun to do. That's fun to do. Okay? And it helps, one reason why I'm teaching it is it helps us connect that this note is the same note as this note. And this, we need to see, when we think about hearing those notes, we need to say, I can get them at least 2 different places. At least 2 different places. Okay? Let's look at kind of the inverse. Not quite the inverse, but similar. So we've still got a quarter note to start it. And I'm going to use my ring finger to grab my 7th fret. Climbing up the scale. Let me encourage you that when you get to this part of the lick, that you put both of those fingers down at the same time. There's no reason why you can't. I could understand maybe if you were playing another fret here, but you're not. So put them down at the same time. Also, another thing to point out, if you've never done this before, you need to try to do it, is that your thumb is jumping up to play the 2nd string here. Take it nice and slow if you need to. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. Yep, so this first G here is a quarter note. It's going to get a full beat by itself. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So give this its space. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Do you remember the other one? Try to play the other one from memory. There it is, Tom. Yeah. I'll go back to it. Okay, do you remember the second one we learned without looking at the tab? So again, if we were to take, I've got both of those now. If we take Blue Ridge Cabin home. I think it's pretty cool, pretty interesting. And it's something different to do than... So I wanted you to be sure and learn both of these. Let's learn them to heart, and maybe you'll need to be reminded of them later today. That's okay, because I know how learning happens. It will really only be tomorrow that you'll know them if you haven't learned them yet. You'll own them tomorrow. Today you're learning them. And this weekend, let me just encourage you that every opportunity that you're in, that you are by default coming back around to, that you would go. And just make it your mission this weekend when you leave here to be able to go to both of these with command and without even hardly having to look at it. Okay, any questions about these? Let me give you a couple variations real quick. I don't want to mess you up here. But what if instead of the 5th fret right here, this is just fun to do. This is how I come up with new licks. What if I said instead of the 5th fret, I'm going to play a 4th fret, or what if I played a 6th fret? What if I just tried one of them on either side? Let me play them for you. Here's one right beneath. Here's the regular lick. Here's one beneath it. That's interesting. Here's one above it. Ooh, that's cool. That makes me want to hear this. Right? Okay, so now with just a little bit of meandering, I've decided that I want to play this. Da, 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 da. Sorry for my writing. It's pretty cool, huh? What's the difference there? The difference, of course, is just that we're playing 1 fret away there. Check this out. What's the relation between that note and this note? It's the same note. You see that? This note, 5th fret here, and the 1st fret here are the same note. So the only thing that's different in these two, sonically, is that this note is a half step above this one. But I've got the knowledge, the fretboard knowledge, to know that ba ba is the same thing as ba ba. See, I'm not limited by licks, right? I'm not limited by positions. And then this note right here could be found on the 8th fret right here. So it's just 1 fret away. Remember I told you that those other cool blues notes are just 1 fret away from the major scale notes. So it's a challenge for me to dance around these major scale notes to find other cool notes that I could play and figure out how to work them in. But I just made that lick up. I mean, I've probably played it before. You probably heard it before. But where did that lick come from? It came from the knowledge of just knowing a major scale and how to play it melodically. Right? We just messed with it a little bit. Okay, could we mess with this one? Somebody tell me something we could do to this one. What is that? Yeah, okay. So you're saying play a 3 here? Yeah, that would sound cool. It'd sound like this. That's very cool. Let me just give you a little piece of information and see what you do with it, James. This 3rd fret right here is also found right here. These two are the same notes. So what if we replace this 6? Oh, That's cool, huh? You see what I did? I'm making this a 6 and keeping this 4. Over here, y'all, we put an 8 in right here. We could do that here. We could make this an 8. Man. All right, so this is what we have now. Dun, ba, da, ba, 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 ba. So now this lick is this. That's really cool, right? So. Whoa. That sounds like something Bela Fleck would do. Right? Now, is that black magic? No, we didn't have to buy that off the black market. Right? We got that lick from having major scale knowledge and messing around with some of the notes on either side of the major scale notes and just thinking about it. Okay, because James said, hey, it would be cool if we, instead of that note, we played this note. And then with our fretboard knowledge, we're like, well, that 3rd fret is also found on the 6th fret. So instead of replacing this note, it could also replace this note. We can make this a 6. And that's how we came up with this. So just a little bit of lick building. This is one thing I love about banjo. We don't have to have a piece of tab paper to figure it out, but it does help us communicate that having knowledge of some pretty basic licks, scale licks, gives birth, when we're ready, gives birth to some pretty cool stuff. Okay, so we got about 3 more minutes in this session. I would like for you to spend that time learning these 2 licks to heart. So maybe read it one time off the tab and then turn away from the tab and play it a few times and then try to recall the other one. Then play it a few times without the tab. If you want to learn how to play those other ones that we play, they're there for you as well. Had you played that before, Tom? Had you played that lick before?
Variation.
Yeah.
Variation.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I want you to work this weekend on throwing these licks in. Maybe all 4 variations. Take a picture with your phone if you want. And work these in over the weekend. There's no excuse for you to play the regular old G lick more times than you have to this weekend. You're already armed with 4 different variations that you can play. And then when we come back from a break in about 10 or 15 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to use our knowledge that we have here to start to do some ear training to find some more melodies and incorporate them using our melodic scales. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think you're ready for it. Everybody's doing really good. I've been watching all of you and you're all catching on. So be encouraged. Did you enjoy that? Okay.